As for you, who keep blaming the Nigerian leaders and the African leaders for the underdevelopment of Africa and for Africa not to be able to develop, please listen to this and don't skip this video. The reason why you see Africa is not being developed, and the reason why you see Africa is passing through a lot of poverty and a lot of starvation and insecurity, it is because how can a nation or a continent that is not free being able to develop itself? You know, this is a very big question for us because a lot of we Africans, we are being made to believe that the problems that is coming out from Africa right here is the fault of the leaders, or maybe is the incapability of the leaders. No, you are totally wrong. And the true answer is that the Western countries, the American, British, Chinese, and all of that white countries are the ones who are looting and exploiting Africa on a daily basis. That is the reason why you see underdevelopment everywhere. That is why you see insecurity everywhere. That is why you see people starving and everything right there. Because why? Our natural resources is being looted and is being exploited ever since the day they set their foot here in Africa to destroy our beautiful ancient kingdoms and take over their monarchy and convert their monarchy into the so-called democratic system that we have today, which was majorly introduced to Africa in 1886 at the Berlin Conference, where the European superpowers gathered and split Africa into tiny little country that it is right now. You know, what we Africa has to know is that we are not free. I don't even know why we Africans are still celebrating independence, especially Nigeria, because a nation who is still being dictated to, a nation who is still being told what to do. How can the nation be free? And how is that nation totally independent? That's very, very wrong. We are not independent. We are still under kind of like a system of slavery that is being imputed in us by the Western people who took it as their birthright to keep exploiting and keep colonizing Africa. We Nigerians and we African youth, we just have to wake up and realize ourselves that our leaders is still being dictated to what to do, especially like the Nigeria crude oil. We Nigerian citizens, a lot of us believe that Nigerian crude oil is being stolen by Nigerian politicians, Nigerian leaders. You are wrong. The British share has been in Nigeria ever since the oil was found. And ever since that time, the British company share that is in Nigeria, looting Nigerian oil, has made over $500 billion out of Nigeria, giving nothing to Nigeria at all. Even if they do give something to Nigeria, those little things they give to Nigeria is being shared among the politicians in Nigeria. So those companies are responsible for not being able to allow those funds that is being given to Nigeria to be utilized in the Nigerian economy. We Africa just have to understand this fact that we are not a nation. We are not free. We are just kind of like a company. Africa is like a company to the Western countries who took it as a birthright to keep exploiting us. They have been here for decades ago and they still keep on doing it, and they will still keep on doing it until we stand up for our rights and stop them. You know, how can you expect a country to be free? You don't think like we all know what happened in Libya. The time Gaddafi was in power, there was 24 hours electricity. Even all other Africans who was trying to take the Libya route straight to Europe was even being stopped by Gaddafi, and it was even being compensated adequately. The time Gaddafi was in power, Gaddafi gave free healthcare to his citizens, and if any of his citizens wants to study abroad, he will finance. There's a certain amount that is being given to that citizen to go study abroad for free of charge. Government is going to take care of it. So that's why you see the reason why he took out Gaddafi, because Gaddafi was trying to introduce a new lifestyle into Africa that was way time even much more better than some of the European countries' lifestyle. Yeah, you heard me right. So we Africans just have to realize that the reason why we see we are suffering, we are passing through a lot of problems, our economy is jumping up and down, our currency is being depreciated every day. It is because they are using our currency to back up their currency. You know, a nation that is peaceful, a nation that is united can never be exploited. So in order for them to keep exploiting us and keep doing all the mysterious nonsense that they are doing to us, they have to make the country unpeaceful. That's why they introduced Boko Haram. The Boko Haram you see in Nigeria today is being introduced by those Western countries who are exploiting Nigeria. And if you watch it very well, the Sambisa forest that is being taken over by the Boko Haram, there's a lot of mineral resources right there that is yet to be discovered, and some of them has already been discovered, that is being secured and being positioned right there, well, with the that the Boko Haram has positioned themselves over there. And those mineral resources is still being looted by the white people. You see all these mining companies in Africa, 80%, in fact 100% of them, they are being owned by white people. You know, the big question I'm asking you, my brothers and sisters here in Nigeria, is that, like, when are we going to be free from all this exploitation, all this pain, all this agony, and all the disrespect, and all this poverty, everything? When are we going to be free? The big answer is that when we are going to be free is when we finally realize ourselves and take our position, free ourselves, free our mind, and start demanding for the removal of all these mining companies who are exploiting the African natural resources. Even if we get united today and start demanding for that today, they are still going to do all it takes to make sure they stop us. Because why? Our economy, our mining, our natural resources is the one that is being used to build up the America you see today. Is the one that was being used to build up Europe you see today. Still yet they have been made rich out of our natural resources, but they still keep on exploiting us. That's how to show how wicked they are. You see right here in Nigeria, all the taxes, everything that is being paid here is going to the white man. You know, if PDP wins, America take over for the 4 or 8 years. If APC win, European Union take over, and the British for the other 4 or 8 years. That's what they do. There's nothing like democracy right here. That's why the late musician called Fela, he called the democracy a demonstration of grace, a crazy demonstration. The so-called democracy is not being used as what it means, because democracy meant very well for the people, but the way the Western people impute it on other countries to use it to exploit other countries is very, very bad, and that's not what democracy tells. You can really see what is happening here in Africa today. We Nigerians, we African youth, we just have to wake up and realize ourselves. We have to understand the fact that our African leaders are not the problem of Africa. The problem of Africa are the white countries who took it as their birthright to keep exploiting and keep colonizing Africa on a daily basis. That's what they do, and that's what they will continue doing until we stand up for our right and stop them from exploiting us and from colonizing us. Please, if you find this message, if you really like the message, please I'd like you to subscribe or follow me for more. Thank you. I'll see you in my next video.